Thanks, Wilfred. I hope you're all safe. It's a big deal because, well, first of all, there are two things. There's one provision that allows students to delay paying their debt for 2 months, and it's interest-free. If they continue to pay it, all of it will go to the principal, and that's good because that reduces their principal. The second thing, and something that Chegg has advocated for, and something that Chegg started over a year ago called Chegg Equity for Education, is we've decided to pay off all of our employees' student debts. One of the things we argued for was every company is allowed to give credit of $5,250 a year for continuing education for their employees, and the employees do not get taxed for that. However, if you used it to pay off their student loan, then they would get taxed for it. So there's a 1-year hiatus on that tax, which means if you were to give $5,250 for each employee that has student debt this year, you would help them pay off $5,250, and it's a really big deal. Only 13% of companies actually do something around student debt, and we've been a big advocate for this, and I want to thank Rodney Davis from Illinois, the congressman, who really helped lead this effort. He called to thank Chegg for our efforts, so it's one step. It's not permanent. We need companies to agree to do this for their employees, and then we think we can make it permanent.
Well, Dan, it's great to hear that, to hear some of the small positives in a relative sense to a lot of the negatives out there. Wanted to switch focus as well and just talk about the core business and the idea of online education. I mean, have you seen a significant uptick in demand? And do you think that that's something that will last, or is it a temporary shift whilst clearly schools are closed?
Well, Chegg was created 10 years ago with the thought that betting on the inevitable, which is that more and more students were going to have to learn. They were going to have to learn online. Eventually, the U.S. education system was going to get that, understand it. And it's unfortunate that this is the situation that has caused them to understand it. But there's no doubt that there's been an acceleration of online learning. And what Chegg does is we're not the curriculum. We're the online homework help support. So we're actually teaching people who normally would get help on campus or get help from a tutor or get help from a friend. And so we have, of course, see that in our business because more students than ever need help. 21% of all students have reported that they go to their campus help centers, whether it be for math or writing or any subject that they need help on. Now they have no access to it. And so Chegg is filling that gap quite nicely. We've been set up for this for day one, so we're able to scale with the demand, and we feel very fortunate. We're also working with a lot of big players. Verizon is one of them, where we're going to be able to provide those that can't afford our help, which is only $14.95 a month, the opportunity to get access for a couple of months of Chegg for free so they can finish their semesters. No students had to do this before. And so we want to be there to help those students, and we're really grateful for our team, our companies working round the clock to provide that.
You mentioned sort of the financial hardship that students have. We've been going in and out. I mean, obviously, the online education is at all levels. But so if you do have a lot of student loan debt, what's the best advice, Dan, right now, how to sort of take advantage of some of these new provisions? Is it just to not make those payments for the next few months because you're not going to accrue interest and get higher debt loads?
I think if you have expenses, and most college students do, I mean, you have to understand the average age in this country of a college student is 25. 40% of them work 30 hours a week or more. 36% of them claim to be hungry over the course of the month. And so we recommend that they take care of themselves first. If they happen to be better off and they can pay, if you pay it now, it reduces the principal, and that's good for you. But honestly, they got to think about their physical health. They got to think about food. They got to think about completing their classes, and they got to think about their mental health. And so we just recommend that they do whatever they need to do for themselves. It's a 2-month benefit. Honestly, I believe there's going to be another stimulus. And I do know that a series of congresspeople and senators are arguing for particularly on the Democratic side in this time, to be able to eliminate at least $10,000 a year of debt. So we want to make sure that students do whatever they need to do.
Well, that would be another step forward. Dan Rosensweig, thank you for joining us. Love the Springsteen poster. Good to see you.
That's my home. Thank you. Stay safe.